What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Couch Stealers. You already know it's the one and only Meister Mikey J. I'm riding solo this week. AU's on vacation, but it gave me a great opportunity to finally take some time and sit down and write my top 10 anime list of all time. Now, granted, first thing I'm going to say right off rip, this is my list. This is not y'all list. This is my list. So we can get that out the way now. But I do want to see what list y'all got, so put that in the comments below. But before we get rolling, make sure to follow us on all socials at Couch Stealers and subscribe to the Couch Stealers YouTube channel to watch this episode and other videos and shorts. Make sure to hit the notification bell too, so you never miss a new drop. Starting in the number 10 spot, I gotta go with the one tried and true classic, the one that started it all, Dragon Ball Z. Now, I know what some of y'all are thinking. Obviously, I'm a 90s kid, so Dragon Ball Z and Toonami are synonymous for me. They the ones that started us all. There is no Couch Stealers, there is no Meister Mikey J without Dragon Ball Z. So, Akira Toriyama's masterpiece is the whole reason why I got into anime to start. For a lot of people, I know that's the case too. I love Dragon Ball Z. I've gotten a chance to go back and watch a lot of new episodes, you know, from Super to some of the new stuff that's coming out to obviously some of the older classics, man. I mean, for me, Gohan Super Saiyan 2 versus Cell is one of my all-time favorite transformations in all of anime. So I had to put them on this list. It was hard. There's a couple honorable mentions that we'll get to later that beat out DBZ, but I had to, you know, go with the tried and true. Without DBZ, without Akira Toriyama, there would be no Couch Stealers. And let's keep it a buck. There won't be a lot of anime fans that are here today. So DBZ gets to my number 10 slot. Coming in at number 9, a classic for a lot of us as well. Naruto Shippuden, Naruto, whichever one. I intertwine them, to be completely honest with you. I know one's a sequel series, but I intertwine them. We ain't gonna really talk about Naruto, but we're talking right now about the Leaf Village's number one hyperactive knuckleheaded ninja. Naruto was a series that, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all on this too. I didn't like when it first came out. I was like, what is this? My younger brother used to watch it all the time, and I was like, I would tease him, to keep it honest. I would tease him a lot. And I was not a fan of it. I was just like, what is this? Why he got whiskers? What is going on? It wasn't until I got out of high school where I actually gave it a shot. And I said, you know, let me sit down and watch Naruto. Best decision I have ever made. But I will say that not only did I apologize to my younger brother for, you know, watching this heat and getting teased for it, but Naruto took me through some of the craziest experiences and craziest times of my life. And when I was watching, it was actually a really difficult time. So like watching Naruto for me, whether it was the fights, whether it was talk no jutsu, whether it was just the full out gas that was the appearance of Naruto when it came to fight Pain in the Leaf Village, best entrance of any anime character of all time. You can hear me, you could quote me, that's what I'm saying right now. Best anime entrance of anyone all time. So big ups to Naruto Shippuden. Shikamaru's still my guy. That's my number one, day one, A1. So big fan of Naruto getting the number 9 slot. Sliding right into the number 8 spot is my namesake in the anime that I get it from, Soul Eater. Whether it's Maka in Soul with, you know, the giant scythe, or it's my favorite character, and shout out to all y'all that rock with Black Star like I do. I understand he annoying, understand he's crazy, but shout out to Black Star and Tsubaki. Obviously Death the Kid with the twin pistols, gotta ba 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 bang. But the reality is, whether it was watching Soul Eater or reading Soul Eater is fire. From the first moment I started watching it when I was in college until the like 2.5 weeks it took me to finish the entire thing during midterms. And yes, I passed. But Soul Eater was so fire. I put AU on a Soul Eater. We've talked about it on the show many a times. It's just gas. And so when I think about Soul Eater, when I think about creating, you know, the Couch Stealers, and we wanted to do something, I wanted to get a moniker that made sense to me. And Soul Eater, Meister Mikey J, Meister, wanting to be a Meister, the whole notion of it was dope. We don't talk about Excalibur, and if they don't stop messing around and give us a remake that follows the manga, damn it, follow the manga, give us a remake, stop playing with us, my emotions. But yes, Soul Eater at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is one of a newcomer, a series that I just recently finished within the last 2.5 years, but it is the most suspenseful anime I have ever watched, bar none. Monster. Whether it was dealing with where in the world is Johan on some Carmen Sandiego type stuff, or just the constant fear of what could happen. What kind of plan or plot are we involved in now? Monster is one of the best suspense animes of all time. In my opinion, is number one, but is also one of the best watches. So if you get a chance to watch Monster, I believe it's still on Netflix. I watched it in the English dub like they would have done back in the day on Toonami, but at the same time, I recommend English or subtitles dubs for that one because it is just so good. Monster will keep you on the edge of your seat the whole way through, and come fight me in the comments. It's better than Death Note. Can't help you. Coming in at number 6, you know we got to have some bizarre times. Take your pick on which way you want to roll, but whether it's Stone Ocean, whether it's Diamond is Unbreakable, whether it's Stardust Crusaders, whether it's even the very beginning when we get introduced to Dio Brando and the hater of all haters in anime. When it comes to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I gotta also give my credit to my co-host. Shout out AU for putting me on, because I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't think I would ever have started it or watched it if it wasn't for his consistency. I'm gonna say consistency because he wanted to make sure I was seated for this one. But JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a amazing ride. It is a bizarre adventure in every sense of the word. Whether it's fish coming out of nowhere and attacking you while you flying the plane, or it's you stuck in a jail cell and not knowing what's going to happen, but next thing you know, you in a rat suit. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is an insane ride. It's just an insane ride. There's no other way to put it. I love everything about it. I love the show. I love the concept. I love the characters. It's firmly into my number 6 spot, but thank you AU for putting me on the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and y'all need to get put on the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as well. So if you ain't watch it, strike balls. All right, we just gonna get this off the record. Just start my top 5, and yes, Attack on Titan is number 5. And not only is Attack on Titan number 5, come see me in the comments on this one as well. I'm Team Aaron. Granted, it wasn't morally correct what he did, but at the same time, yo, man, don't start no fight that you can't finish. And Aaron Yeager made sure to finish that fight. Attack on Titan from start to finish is one of those animes that when you first start watching it, and I had my boys tell me about this, and basically just say, hey, don't get attached to nobody. They not lying. This is Game of Thrones level anime type stuff. It is insane the amount of things that happen in Attack on Titan and the weaving of webs and the storylines that all come together. From Eren to Mikasa to Armin to Connie to, of course, Captain Levi. There is no place in the world where you cannot go, make this gesture, and people, anime heads specifically, ain't gonna know what you mean. So number 5 coming in, and yes, I did like the ending. I don't know, a lot of people didn't like the ending, whether it was the manga or the anime. I know the anime apparently gave more context than the manga did, but yes, we gonna always salute number 5, Attack on Titan. Coming in at number 4, and I can already tell y'all right now, hey, you ain't gonna be feeling this one, but coming in at number 4, I've got Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is one of the greatest pieces of media I've ever watched. Hands down, the Elric brothers story from start to finish is something that will pull at your heartstrings, will make you laugh, will have you rooting for them harder than you root for anybody, any sports team, any other character you've ever seen. The Elrics and their story of getting their bodies back while also trying to figure out the huge mystery behind the Philosopher's Stone is a watch that every anime fan needs to watch if they haven't seen it already. I've already seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood several times, and also the original series, Full Metal Alchemist from, I believe, 2003 is also a great watch too. But Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, with all the cast of characters, with all the great uses of alchemy, and let's keep it a buck, the Freezing Alchemist was kind of right. So definitely check that out. That's my number 4 pick on this list. Now we coming down to the platformers. Number 3 on the board. Now this is one that if y'all watch this last episode of the Couch Stealers or listen to the last episode of the Couch Stealers podcast, you would understand why I put it up there this high. But number 3 is going to be a tried and true classic. Samurai Champloo coming in solid. Mugen, Jin, Fu. The story of them trying to find the samurai that smells of sunflowers. The music alone is, and I'll say it again, one of the greatest soundtracks of any piece of media of all time. Of all time. Of all time. Shout out R.I.P. Nujabes for all the things that came into it, the story, the music, everything intertwined into a beautiful story of samurai just going on a journey. And if you sit down and plop down and get real comfortable, you're going to be jamming out too. So shout out to everyone that had anything to do, low-key, that had anything to do with Samurai Champloo, because that's number 3 on my list because of how amazing and how much of a classic it is. I loved watching it. I love rewatching it. Probably going to rewatch it again very soon. Samurai Champloo takes the number 3 spot. And now our silver medalists. We going to talk about it. We just going to talk about it. We just going to talk about it. If you along for the voyage, if you are willing to sit behind and cheer for the future king of the pirates, Monkey D. Luffy, One Piece, number 2 on my list of favorite all-time anime, because, like, do I have to even say anything more? Yes, it's long. We get it. There's other long anime. Stop playing. Stop doing yourself the disservice. Sit down and watch One Piece. One Piece, obviously the characters, we already know the Straw Hat Crew, but the story, the heartstrings, Marineford, Ace, Corazon is so great. It's so great. And shout out to my favorite character, Trafalgar D-Law. Y'all already know. He's not gonna be Pirate King because that's Luffy's job, but you know, he just need to come on and get him Zord. That's how I always look at it. He just need to come up and get a Zord because his crew is trash. But One Piece is number 2 for many reasons. It's one of the best anime I've ever watched. In my opinion, it is the best out of the big 3 shonen anime, and like it's gonna be it's already been an amazing ride, but the days are gonna come when Luffy is sitting on top of the mountain as Pirate King. And as someone who has watched this journey all the way back when they had to rap on Toonami, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, y'all need to hit that YouTube channel. Gaio, all the way from back then. To see him finally sit on the throne as Pirate King. I remember watching it growing up as a kid. I am now a man. I am married, bro. Like, what are we talking about? This journey is amazing. So yes, y'all need to get on One Piece. Y'all need to stop hating on people that are on One Piece. It is not that long. And I went long on this because it's going to be my number 2. So yes, One Piece coming in the number 2 spot. And finally, my number 1 all-time anime. And matter of fact, let me just, hold on. I apologize, y'all. A little wardrobe malfunction here. Hold up. All right, that's better. All right, my number 1 anime of all time, hands down, right here. This boy right here. Both of these boys right here. But obviously, the spirit detective himself, Yusuke Urameshi, Yu Yu Hakusho, with the greatest tournament arc in the history of anime, the Dark Tournament. Everything that comes in when you look at the team, whether it's Hiei, whether it's Kuwabara, whether it's Kurama, whether it's that boy Yusuke Urameshi, even Keiko, bro. Come on now. Keiko love story. Keiko was down. Keiko's the only one that was ever going to be able to talk to Yusuke. It was going to be the only one that ever brought Yusuke in. Yu Yu Hakusho for me is, when I think of Toonami, I think of Dragon Ball Z and I think of Yu Yu Hakusho. When I think of watching Toonami late at night, I definitely think of Yu Yu Hakusho. I remember having the games. I remember watching it. I remember when I first got back into anime after I got out of high school, one of the first anime I did sit down and watch in its entirety was Yu Yu Hakusho. And watching that story and getting that ending and getting everything that I got out of Yusuke Urameshi's story, from getting hit by the car trying to save a kid to becoming the spirit detective that he became and really becoming the hero and the main character that he became, Yu Yu Hakusho is my number 1 favorite all-time anime, without question, bar none. And like I said before, y'all know I got some honorable mentions that just missed the cut and getting into this top 10 list, but they're still classics, so I gotta talk about them. They're still some of my favorite anime of all time. So I got Odd Taxi, a great story about some anthropomorphic, I guess, citizens. Keep watching the show for a little bit more on that one, but I got Odd Taxi in that one. Jobless Reincarnation, Mushoku Tensei, the story of Rudy Gray Rat, previously a 35-year-old bum living in Japan, gets reincarnated into this magical world. He be working, he be trying his best, but I love Jobless Reincarnation. It's such a great story. Shout out Black Kensai for putting me on. Love it, love it, love it. Big fan of Jobless Reincarnation. A sleeper for y'all that y'all probably don't even know, as far as everything else on this list being a little bit more shonen and, you know, a little bit more in that realm. But one of my all-time favorite romantic comedy anime, Toradora, the Palm Top Tiger, and Ryuji. Love it. Toradora, watched it on. Not gonna lie, watched it because I was feeling it in my feelings one Valentine's Day, and I said, you know what, let me start this just because I'm in my feelings, and it ended up being such a classic. I love watching it. It's just such a good story, such a good rom-com kind of story. So, and plus, I love that fight scene in the classroom because the Palm Top Tiger, don't nobody come at Tiger like that. The controversial one that I got here, AU and I got into in our last episode, but Kaiju number 8. It's only been one season. I've already read some of the manga. I personally think Kaiju number 8 is the only one on this list that has the potential of getting into my top 10 in the future. Kaiju number 8 is phenomenal in every way, which way and form. Go back to our last episode from last week to go hear me talk about it a little bit more in depth. My Hero Academia was the one that barely missed the list, and obviously, My Hero is a huge following. Everyone loves it in some way, shape, or form. I know Deku can sometimes be a controversial main character, but My Hero has been one thing, if not consistent, throughout its entirety. Yes, it had a little bit of a lull there for a little bit, but for the most part, it's been incredibly consistent. And it's also been the kind of story that, from a superhero perspective, obviously we've been kind of bogged down with all the Marvel stuff that's going on. Don't kill me, I hadn't watched Deadpool versus Wolverine at this point of recording. But I will say that it's done a great job of bringing all these different type of characters, all these different type of powers, and it's just a really fun watch. So My Hero Academia just barely missed the cut, but it's on the honorable mentions list. Another anime that I loved on the honorable mentions list, Cyberpunk Edge Runner. Now, I've never played Cyberpunk, the video game, and I'll be honest with you, I just happened to stumble on this anime one night on Netflix at like 8:30 at night. And I did not get much sleep that night because I watched the entire series in one sitting. I've watched the entire series in one sitting. I've watched reactors react to it. I put people that I love onto the series. I've even had AU on it. Like, everyone. Cyberpunk Edge Runner is so gassed, and I'm upset we only got one season, but I understand why we only got one season. It is such a great anime. The story, the characters, the world. Like, again, I never played a video game, so I didn't know nothing about the world. The world, phenomenal. Cyberpunk Edge Runner on the honorable mention. And wrapping up the honorable mentions, barely missing it as well, Afro Samurai. Need I say more? Afro! Need I say more? Like, Afro Samurai. Everything from the whole concept of the number 1, number 2 headband to the artistry. It was gas all the way around. If you haven't watched Afro Samurai, definitely need to get on that one as well. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let me know what y'all think below. That is my top 10 list. Let me know what y'all got. And as always, make sure that you're listening to the Couch Stealers podcast. We drop episodes every Monday here on YouTube as well, on wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check us out, like I said before, on our socials at Couch Stealers. Subscribe to the Couch Stealers YouTube and hit that notification bell so you know when we drop something brand spanking new. So that's my list. I definitely want to hear what y'all got. Let me know in the comments below. This is how we gonna rock out. Hey, you coming back next week, so we're gonna get back to your regularly scheduled Couch Stealer programming. Everyone that went out to DreamCon this past weekend, I hope you had a good time. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna talk about it. Couch Stealers are back. As y'all know, always room.